Hey, you want a free PSC bow? I'm gonna make it simple for you. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're subscribed and you're liking and you're commenting on our videos, you're entered in the giveaway. We're gonna give a free PSC bow away again. You heard it here first, a free PSC bow. All right, guys, so it's a time of the year in which, let's face it, a lot of you guys are looking at buying land. I just did the same thing. Just purchased a piece, and there's certain places that I make sure to look or not look for land. And don't get me wrong, just because I say that this state is or isn't good, and I'm sure some of you may or may not know where I'm going with this, we'll see. Just because I say it's not good doesn't mean there's not pockets. And that's one thing you need to understand before ever watching this video, guys, is there's pockets in every state. If you stay in touch with your realtors or you keep your eye out and you drive the back roads looking for those for sale by owner signs, you can find a deal. And I'm looking forward to doing a video on letting you know my overall experience with buying land and building land in a little series that we're going to be doing, and we think it's going to be called Buy Dirt, Build Dirt. I'm going to go through the entire experience of buying the land, building it, and turning it into something special, which is going to help you guys. So if you aren't liking and subscribed already to our videos, make sure you do that, because we're going to have some extremely educational stuff where we're going to be showing like in depth as we're doing it, how we're doing certain things on the property from beginning to end. So you definitely, no matter what state, even if you buy in this state, I'm not going to recommend, and I'm going to really talk about a portion of this state in which people love to hunt. This information will be usable to you. So let's get into it. A lot of you guys are already rolling your eyes. You probably know where I could be going with this if you've been a long time subscriber to this channel. There's an underrated or an overrated state for a lot of reasons, in the past, and it's got the best county and the best top 5 counties in the top 20, whatever else, all these other things. But getting into things from a more, we could talk about price, and I will, but like a more strategic standpoint that a lot of you are not thinking about when it comes to buying land in this state, and maybe even other states this can be applied. This is one thing that we struggle with on client visits when going to the state, and it's something you cannot change. Before I get into that, let's talk about the hierarchy or the numerical status that I label each property with. I'll show up to a property and say, hey, this property is currently a X out of 10. And sadly, because this is wrong with it, it can never be a 10 out of 10. This is one of those things. So if you're looking at buying property, whether it's in this state or in a different state, think about this, okay? The state's Wisconsin. Okay, the great state of Wisconsin. Don't get me wrong. A lot of you are about to already down in the comments. I get it. There's good spots in Wisconsin. There absolutely is. But there's something that's going on, like I just mentioned, that would drive me away from buying land in Wisconsin, especially in certain locations. Let's talk about that price for a second here first. It's ridiculous. We are a multiple buck state in Wisconsin. Thankfully, you can kill one with the gun and the bow. Your non-resident tags are dirt cheap. As a resident, we hate that. You get a lot of pressure, and we can go into some of the reasons that we've talked about in the past with the pressure being so much higher here because there's so many hunters. And I don't care if we do antler restrictions or whatever else, it's not going to change because there's so much competition with everybody's 20-acre parcel, 40-acre parcel, 80-acre parcel. That's a lot of neighbors. So to really get all your deer passed and to a mature level, it takes a lot of hard work. Okay, I'm not saying it can't be done, but in comparison to the Iowas of the world, the Illinois and Missouri and Kentucky's, some people, on average, I'd like to see what the average parcel size owner, size of the parcel would be. It's bigger. When I go to properties, it's not uncommon for me to go to 120, 300, 500 acre parcel. That's less competition. So, in a lot of those states, you can get cheaper land. Okay. So the thing about Wisconsin, when we get down to Southwest Wisconsin, which everybody talks about, I've seen recreational, AKA hunting land, go for $5 on the low end to $7,000, $10,000 an acre. Okay. And here's the thing is, although the interest rates may be where they're at, and you'd think that the market is better. Let's say, let's take it back a year, when the market was hot, or 2 years, and whenever you watch this video, the market was crazy, interest rates were low, everybody was buying. Let's say there was 20 buyers. Okay. Now, with the interest rates are where they're at, even if there's less buyers, there's still probably 5 or 6. So there's still a lot of competition. So there's always somebody willing to pay that high dollar price. Okay. So that's why I dislike Wisconsin in a lot of ways. It's not because the hunting's good that drives the price up. It's because there's so many hunters. So think about that when you're looking for land. But now let's talk about some of this Southwest Wisconsin land. This isn't the case on all your properties. Some of you have wonderful Wisconsin hunting properties down in this area. But the thing that I dislike most as a habitat manager about some of these properties is the access is horrible because of the topographical features. A lot of you are not thinking of this stuff. I've been to some clients' properties where as soon as we pull in, we have big, gigantic ridge systems. And we're at the base of the hill looking up into the property. Well, guess what those deer have on you? A vantage point. How will you ever access your property properly, especially if you only have that access route with those deer above you? I'm not going to say it's impossible, guys, but you have an uphill battle, in a lot of different ways. I mean that one a long walk, but also those deer are watching you. They're watching you from above. So how do you get into food plotting locations, which is harder to plant in, which are harder to plant in hill country anyway, and all these other things? How do you get into the property? So many of my property owners that I work with, they'll be like, I pulled into the driveway and the deer are blowing. What do? We're limited. Sure, we can create screens and things like this, but you're never going to be bulletproof. We can't change topographical features. So whether it's Wisconsin or whether it's any other state that you're looking to buy land in, if you guys can think to yourself, will the food sources on this property be able to be put on top of the topographical features and the deer, maybe the open ground, will the open ground be on top, so we can plant food up high, have the bedding down low so that we have an advantage getting into our stand locations, but also maybe your access point and entrance points are up high. We get more constant winds, all these other things. The property becomes more huntable. We have a lot more luck. You kill a lot more deer. A lot of people are not thinking that in depth about these things, but that is something that you should be thinking about, especially if you're the land buyer in Wisconsin or really any place in which there's hill country. So that's my little quick tip for the day, guys, that you should definitely be looking out for when purchasing land anywhere in the country, but especially in Southwest Wisconsin. Don't be the guy that buys land that you have to walk up into when the deer have the vantage point on you. So with that being said, you like these videos, you like these tips, like, comment, subscribe. Always doing giveaways. If you guys like this stuff, you're in the right place. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.